I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
And we are Midwest Mike's coming back at you with another show right here on our YouTube page. It is the week after the Super Bowl. So no more NFL football for about 7-8 months.
We just got the next thing will be free agency.
Yeah.
Which is fun too. I enjoy that. I enjoy seeing people overspend or like getting some surprises and stuff, or like some. I think this will be some trades.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what all happens here over the next few months as things develop, and we also will have the USFL coming back.
I'm in.
I'll watch it.
Is there a coach we like yet though?
No, of the 8. There's nobody that just jumps off the page at you.
Where you're like, yeah,
that's my guy. Like, not a Spurrier.
Jeff Fisher?
Jeff Fisher, Todd Haley, a couple other guys.
I'm kind of waiting to see like who their quarterbers are, and then
we'll see. I mean, I'm sure there'll be roster reveals and all that stuff here in the next few months. But I mean, I'll definitely have it on. I guess they'll play probably on Saturdays or Sundays. I mean, I'll check it out for sure.
I'll treat it like I treated the XFL. And the XFL had a few more likable coaches in it, like Spurrier, of course, and then Stoops. They were guys that were easily likable in big markets. Spurrier's team was killing it, dude.
That was the AAF.
That's right, AAF. XFL was...
And then XFL did have Stoops.
So Stoops, XFL. Yeah. That's right. What did you like better, XFL or AAF?
I mean, they were both kind of about the same.
Same kind of thing, right?
Pandemic kind of fucked them both.
But like, I'm in.
But the XFL...
No, AAF got messed up because they sold that one investor, and then he...
Oh, that's right. And then he pulled the money.
Dude, I enjoyed it.
But the XFL will be back next spring with The Rock at the helm. And, I mean, arguably, you can't say there's anything he's taken on that has not been successful.
All the shows he does, everything he does turns to gold.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever. It'll be good. And he's really good about putting a good team around him and around projects and stuff. So
I'm sure he'll have kind of football people handle the football side of it.
And then he'll do
entertainment people handle the entertainment side of it. Because, I mean, let's face it, it's all entertainment, right? Whether it be the NFL, the XFL, whatever it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
And with XFL, USFL, you're going to have some entertainment factor more than just the football.
For sure.
Because the football's not obviously going to be at the level of the NFL.
So they'll want to get some celebrity stuff going.
Yeah.
And I'm sure their social media will be like on fire. Yeah. They'll do a good job with that. You know who does a good job with social media? And I only watched one game. Was that fan-controlled league?
Yeah,
it was like Johnny Manziel was like a big kind of deal, and then Josh Gordon was in it for like a couple games and stuff like that. Like I watched one game and I did it. Like I enjoyed it. It wasn't one of those things where you go out of the way like, oh my god. But like if you had nothing going on and you throw it on and you're like, oh okay, cool. And it was cool. Like you could jump on the app and like vote on plays and stuff. It was kind of crazy, kind of cool. I think the cool thing about they did was. That was like one of those leagues that they are coming back. They're coming back for a second year. And I think what they did was they managed their expectations, right? So they didn't like plan on like sold out 70,000.
I don't think I watched a second of that. So
no, it's all good. Their social media was great. All that stuff. Marshawn Lynch is involved in one of the teams. And he actually like teased like suiting up for a game. Because they'll let those guys do whatever they want. But like it's one of those things where another one of those deals where you're like, hey, I don't know. Put it on. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was like streaming on like
Twitch
and stuff. It was cool.
All right, so let's go Super Bowl thoughts. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Well, yeah. I mean, can I ask you? Like, I enjoyed the game. I also had money on it, so I can have money on the worst game ever, and I'll still like be into it. But I enjoyed it. I like defense, and I like watching these guys. It's really kind of fun to see. Because the Rams' approach to like the offseason, and really their approach over the last 3 or 4 years is stars and scrubs type thing, to where they're going to go after. They have stars on their team, and then there's everybody else. I mean, they had old man Eric Weddle like playing safety, and he got hurt, and knocked out of the game. And they didn't miss. The defense didn't miss a beat because that defense is based on their pass rush, which is very good. And then Cincy's O-line is really not good. And so when you have – it's kind of cool to watch on defense. Basically, we had two Hall of Famers, right? Donald, Von Miller going straight for the quarterback. Both Donald got 2 sacks. Von Miller got 1, I think. Is that right? Or Donald got 3 maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. They hit the over. But the thing is, like, I
had 7 sacks total in the team.
Yeah, that prop bet was an easy take for me. It was over 4.5. So I was like, that was easy for me. So I hit on that, which was nice. I thought I'll tell you what, though, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I think football is a momentum game, and a lot of sports are. I feel like the Rams, I don't know if they would have won. I originally thought they'd win by 20. I don't know if they would have won by 20, but if OBJ doesn't go down, I think they win comfortable.
Yeah, I definitely think the injury made it closer than it would have been. I mean, obviously watching it with you and the other guys here, when OBJ goes down, non-contact injury, I mean, it's an ACL or pretty much. So he's going to be out till probably November of next year at best. So, a lot of questions there because he is a free agent.
He'll get signed.
Yeah, somebody will. But there won't be a rush to sign him just because of the rehab process. So, that'll be interesting.
I do think, I do think he figured out his role. His role is wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
I mean, what he is he's like wide receiver 2 that will make some amazing catches. Like, he got the first touchdown. Great throw, great route, great catch. But this guy's not the 10-catch guy. He's like the 4 or 5 catch guy, maybe. Or he has a game where he has 1 catch. But, like, that's what he is. And I think that he fit in really well with the Rams. I think McVay really accepted him. And they put him into the Robert Woods role because Robert Woods went down. Mm-hmm. Think about if they had Woods, OBJ, and Kupp.
And honestly, when they brought OBJ in, Woods was still healthy.
Yeah.
He went down like right after that happened.
They would have had all 3, man.
I'm sure that's kind of the role Sean McVay had for him. And then Woods goes down, and it's like, well, now his role got elevated, just by injury.
And you think about this, too. They had Deshaun Jackson also. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like wondering if they were like, oh, we need like a guy. But
so
OBJ's not really expendable. OBJ's not like a speedster guy. How dumb is Deshaun Jackson for asking his release?
Yeah, I
he would have had a ring. I mean, he would have got a ring.
Yeah. So my initial thoughts on the game, like you, I enjoyed it. It was a good football game. The thing going into it, I mean, if you are the Cincinnati Bengals and you're going into that game and you're looking at that defense across from you and you're Zach Taylor, head coach, offensive coordinator, what are you saying? Like, we can't lose because of this. What is that you're saying?
Well, I mean, everybody kind of knew their glaring weakness.
Yeah. Was the O-line, right?
Yep. So they had to figure out. They got to scheme around that.
And honestly, I don't feel like they did at all.
No.
I mean, because pretty much Donald and Miller and the guy on the other side coming off the edge.
I was like Floyd.
Floyd, yeah. They pretty much just did what they want. I mean,
they did.
Like, typically,
first half, not so much. Second half.
Yeah.
All those sacks came in the second half.
I mean, typically, as a coach myself, when I'm scouting my opponent, I'm going, okay, here's what they do well. That's what my focus is going to be, is taking that away from them. Now typically as a defensive coach, I'm looking at your top formations and your top plays and saying, okay, I'm gonna scheme up against those, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they rush the passer, so and you can't protect because you gave up 9 sacks against Tennessee. 1 against Kansas City, which that's a whole nother deal. Not going to go there right now, but hey, I got to get the ball out of my quarterback's hands quick. We got to run some screens, some draws. We've got to do some quick passes.
None of that.
We've got to be able to run the football to slow down that pass rush. we cannot get in third and long situations.
Happened all night.
And so that to me is a failure by the Bengals coaching staff.
Another thing is too, really, that touchdown that Chase got, that was a bad. That was a missed call by the refs on the face mask.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Chase sucks.
That wasn't Chase. That was the other guy.
Oh, Higgins.
Yeah, Higgins.
Okay, I thought it was. Okay.
No, it wasn't Chase. It wasn't the rookie.
Okay. I really thought. You know what's funny?
Higgins,
I thought it's weird. I thought Ramsey actually had a good game.
Yeah,
but it was like, well, of course, besides I thought he did pretty good because they really had, for some reason, I felt like they attacked him a lot, and I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah,
and the other thing is too is like you just think like wait, are y'all not trying to pick on Weddle at all?
Yeah, I don't get that. To me, NFL officials, you can't miss that one. I mean, where he got dragged down by the face
we do know
mask.
the crew that was running the show. They do not like throwing flags.
Yeah, but then in the fourth quarter, I feel like they threw a lot. So it just you can't miss that one, and that's where we talked about it over here. I don't want it to turn into baseball where there's like all these replays.
Yeah, I don't either.
But there needs to be somebody that's in a booth, like as an official, and going, y'all missed that. That's offensive pass interference. Replay the down. Like, I mean, there's got to be a balance. Like the head referee on the field doesn't need to go watch that again. We can all see it from the replay. So there needs to be a guy in the booth that just buzzes down and goes, "Hey, that's offensive pass interference."
Something that's like blatantly missed.
Yes,
nothing that's like borderline.
No. If it's borderline, leave it. But
because that's when you get to baseball.
Yeah, but that's blatant. Like that one was a blatant.
That was pretty bad.
How do you miss that?
He got him, and then he was like, he comes up like, "What?" And then like they didn't call nothing. I go, "Ugh."
Because let's be honest, okay? Anytime a DB gets beat deep, does he not get up going,
what?
"Oh, what? You got a
flag.
Or if an offensive player, if the receiver doesn't come down with the ball, he looks at the ref like, "Hey, where's my flag, bro?
Where's the flag?
Throw the flag."
Now, here's the thing.
No, like, and they're going to do that, and that's okay. I'm okay. They're competitors.
I'm okay with that. They're competitors.
But
they should be asking for a flag every.
But that one was egregious. Like that one was a no-brainer. It should have took a guy in a booth 10 seconds to go, "Oh yeah, hey, we missed that guy's offensive pass interference. Mm-hmm. Move it back 10, 15, whatever the penalty is."
Yeah, I agree.
And replay the down. Because I mean, honestly, without that play, it's not as close as it is, right?
That's right. So really, the game I thought it was a pretty well balanced, good game. At periods of time. To the common folk, maybe a little boring sometimes. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I enjoy defense, so I was like, I'm good with this.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I enjoyed hanging out.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed hanging out. That was good times.
I went 10-1 with Joey at beer pong. 10-1 should have been 11-0, but we did drop one kind of in the middle.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
10-1.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I would say now a question for you about Matthew Stafford.
Okay,
was he a Hall of Famer before his ring?
No,
he's borderline maybe.
To me, no, but now that he has one, yes.
Me too. Borderline like he was one of those guys where if he got voted in, I would go. All right.
He definitely wasn't first ballot.
No, because statistically he's going to finish like top. I think he said like top 5 or 6 in like every category, and so it's like okay, like he has better numbers than a lot of the guys that are in, and then you go, well, he has no ring. Got the ring.
I think he proved how good he is.
And did he prove how bad Detroit is?
Yes.
I know. I think so, too.
And we've said that bad ownership, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you look at it. Barry Sanders.
Calvin
Johnson, and then now Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford somehow got out and obviously won his ring. Mm-hmm. It's not like he went to a terrible team either, but it's still really hard.
Are there going to be more teams that do what the Rams did?
I think so.
It's a copycat league, right? Mm-hmm. So like you just figured out like,
Like,
okay,
hey, go all in.
go all in.
They haven't had a first-round draft pick since Sean McVay arrived, and they don't have one for like another 2 or 3 years.
And guess what? They made the playoffs every year. They made the Super Bowl twice. Like
They haven't made it 1 year. That was the year they
playoffs.
lost after they lost the Super Bowl.
Oh, a little Super Bowl hangover.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm going to say this, okay? I put out a poll on our Twitter the other day. Is Joe Burrow the new Dan Marino? Does Joe Burrow equal Dan Marino? Made it to a Super Bowl in his second year and never went back. But is, one of the top quarterbacks
You
ever
know
in the
what?
league.
There's a lot of commonalities between it because you have an owner in Cincinnati that is known to be cheap, and Carson Palmer's talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't really they put like Ocho and Hushman's like he had some nice receivers, but they never went like all in to push that Carson Palmer and that Ocho Cinco to the moon. Which I'm like, if you spend the money, I think you're looking pretty. Those guys are looking pretty good. Carson Palmer had some good. Even after he went to Raiders, he had some good years in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, okay, so Cincinnati might be that team because Miami was kind of like that team, right?
Yeah.
You start thinking with Dan Marino, you're like, okay, did they ever go all out and like go get guys? Because other teams did. Dallas did when they got Dion. We're talking 90s free agency, so it is different. Mm-hmm. But like Dallas Cowboys would go all out to get their guys and have stars. And Miami never did that. And so is Cincinnati going to treat Burrow like that? You think about this. They knew the offensive line was trash last year when he got sacked a billion times.
So I think this offseason is going to tell a lot
if they go
about the future of Cincinnati.
I'm telling you, if I was Cincinnati, I'm overpaying offensive line.
Because the Chiefs last year, obviously in the Super Bowl, a year ago, struggled offensive line-wise.
Yeah.
And then they went, Brett Veach, Andy Reid went out, got some guys to help fix it, right?
Yep.
So if Cincinnati does not attempt to fix it, then I'm going to say Joe Burrow is going to be our generation's Dan Marino and never, ever get back to a Super Bowl.
If he stays in Cincinnati.
Yes.
So what'll happen is I think Burrow will be smart to put a little pressure on these guys to do that because he can see teams like the Chiefs that go all out and do that. So like the Chiefs when they goofed up.
The Bills have made improvements. I know they lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs, but they've made improvements. Tennessee has tried to get better.
Julio. All kinds of stuff.
Your other top teams in the AFC have made moves, right?
And the NFC, the only team where their quarterback was upset at them for not making moves was Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. And we'll see what he does because they typically don't do moves. Their biggest move is bringing back Cobb.
Yeah,
he's like a fourth string guy. But Aaron loves him, so he brought him back. What are you doing? But you notice the teams that start going all in on guys, or like they go like Tampa last year with Brady. And now Brady saw like this team is ready, right? Because we talked about it last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago. Maybe Winston throws 30 interceptions and they still win 7 games. And Brady's like, wait a sec, I'll throw 10 and we'll win 11 or 12 games because I won't put you guys in these spots. But then when they got Brady, they went out and got Sue. They went out and got these other guys. They went out and got the veteran guys to help out Fournette. They traded for Fournette. Mm-hmm. Like they went and pushed it. So teams, I really do feel like you're either like a team should either be super aggressive or bide their time. And Cincinnati is they'll have the third most cap space. I think I heard today. It is time to be super aggressive because Joe Burrow is a good quarterback. And
yeah, so like I said, I think this offseason is going to tell a lot.
Yep.
But when Dan Marino went, and I believe it was like 85, 84, somewhere in there, because he came out in 83. So, maybe 86. But when Marino was there, free agency was not a thing yet, right?
Not so there like wasn't 90, a rookie. 93 is like
yeah. So there wasn't a rookie salary cap. There wasn't all these things. Whereas in 3 more years, Burrow can just, no matter what Cincinnati offers him, he can say no.
He can say no.
And he can be like, you guys haven't done anything. Like, we went to the Super Bowl 3 years ago. You haven't done anything to make this team better. So I am not re-signing with you. I'm going to take my chance on the free market, and then he'll get the bag, as the kids say.
Get that bag.
He'll get the bag.
But yeah, you can tell which teams are aggressive in free agency and are pushing and are aggressive and are doing the right moves. Really, you know what? The only team that really is good every year that doesn't really do that too much is Pittsburgh. And they're more of like the stability guys.
They're more of they built through the draft.
They built through the draft.
Sign one or two veterans.
They built through the draft, and then they make sure to take care of the guys that they got, right?
Yes.
So they'll take care of
them. So in the draft, they draft a guy. They've developed him. He's turned into a solid player.
They take care of him.
And they pay him.
Took care of Big Ben forever, which I think even he sucked last year, like, good move to me. I think, whatever. And then take care of TJ already, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because that dude is awesome. So you'll see it's funny, you'll see the teams with good ownership that's very aggressive. They're always, like the Rams for sure, again, what will they do? They'll be aggressive. They'll be aggressive again. They'll figure out if Stafford's going to retire or come back.
So, in any chance, like the rumor is McVay is going to retire. Do you think he retires at 36?
I don't think so. I don't
don't either.
What about taking a year off and then trying somewhere else?
I don't. I think a guy like that's came up the way he has.
What if a guy that's like McVay's like, I'll take a year off, and then some trash team is, because the Rams, when they hired him, they were terrible.
Oh yeah, I mean, he were coming off
So what if he like he retires for a year, and then he's like, I really like to have a trash team try to get him.
I don't know his contract status. They'd have to trade. Some team would have to trade draft picks to get him.
I don't think he'll.
So I don't think he walks away. I could see Aaron Donald walking away.
He's a Hall of Famer to me already.
Because the player side is different.
And he's a Hall of Famer,
than
right?
The coach side. But
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, for sure. So, you wanted to talk about some Chiefs moves, potentially heading in here to the off season.
So, the Chiefs don't need to do anything drastic, right? It's just more tidy up stuff, right? We all know our pass rush is kind of not great, especially
need to get better at rushing the passer.
Yeah,
which you've already hired a new D-line coach.
Yeah, hey, maybe. Bieniemy, for me, Bieniemy is, we'll see. He's thinking about, he actually said he may take a year off because he's not under contract. So he may take a year off and not do anything, which I'm like thinking, like, you know what? More power to him, because dang, every year he probably should have a head coaching job over some of these other bozos get hired, and he hasn't got hired. Could be a bad interviewer. We don't really know. At the same time, for me as a Chiefs guy, okay, Bieniemy leaves and you bring in like Matt Nagy. I don't want to say it's the same, but it's kind of the same. Like, it's the same. Nagy knows the system. It ain't like, and those guys like him. He got the best, like Alex Smith's best years with Nagy. Like, it's whatever. Like, if that happens, Chiefs fans should not be like, oh, they should be like, dang, that sucks, Bieniemy, this and that. But like, anyways, what I'm thinking is we need a legit wide receiver too. The top targets are OBJ and Juju. I actually like Juju because of they both have injury history, so you actually might be able to get him cheaper.
Well, and OBJ's not going to be ready until November.
So let's get Juju. Whatever. That's a number 2. That's cool. Allen Robinson also is pretty sweet. And then I would love to have Von Miller. There's a couple other pass rushes that are out there. Nobody is like super high profile that's available in free agency. And then let's draft. Or let's do a high. We could do what we did for the O-line and do a big O trade like we did for Orlando Brown and do that. But the nice thing about the Chiefs is they really just got to tidy up a little bit. Wide receiver 2, pass rush, and some depth. That's it. They actually can clear a ton of cap space. I saw it today. If they cut Hitchens, Frank Clark, and I think it's not signed Tyrann Mathieu, and then restructure Tooney. And then Mahomes restructures, should have $50 to $100 million of cap space, which is crazy to think that. But so that's what we need, which is not a lot. I think we're good.
And going back to Bieniemy, I do want to talk about that for a minute. In my opinion, the ball is in his court. I would see no reason why the Chiefs don't want to bring him back.
I agree.
Andy Reid or the organization. I think maybe. I mean, Andy Reid does have a reputation of getting a little conservative at times or abandoning the run at times, depending on who you listen to.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week, 3-5 in championship games. Maybe that has something to do with Bieniemy not getting a head coaching job. So maybe he does want to step away from an Andy Reid to try to, make it somewhere else or just distance himself a little bit. And I don't think that's necessarily disrespectful. It's just if somebody's going to take that chance on him as a head coach, maybe it wouldn't hurt to distance himself from Andy Reid a little bit. I mean, just my opinion.
Spitballing a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's my take.
I mean, it's weird, though, man. Our last two guys have gotten head coaching gigs.
Yeah.
And really, you know what? Nagy in Chicago, I really feel like...
I mean, really, nobody's been successful in Chicago as a head coach.
That's not tough, man. I mean,
Lovie Smith got him to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Trubisky.
They lost to Peyton Manning.
He got Trubisky, which was, he got Trubisky, and then, he had to figure out, he had a rookie with Fields. You're in the same division as a decent Minnesota team and then a great Packers team. It's tough. Peterson did well in Philly. He ended up butting heads with
obviously
the owner.
Won a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Carson Wentz's best year. Nick Foles' best year. Best year.
And you know what's crazy? A couple weeks ago, we talked about starting quarterbacks for teams for next year.
Yeah.
I'm really hearing a lot of chatter that Indianapolis is going to move off Carson Wentz.
I know. What did we say? Who were we thinking on Cole?
I think I said Carson Wentz because I didn't think they'd move off of him.
I knew the Jimmy G stuff is like decent.
As the weeks move on, I'm hearing more and more that they're exploring options, all options.
I think who would actually make a little. Numbers wise, they're the same guy. Is somebody going to make a big move for Matt Ryan? Numbers wise, him and Stafford are literally the same. It's like. You put them next to each other, if you took off the names, you'd go, that's the same guy.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a bad year last year.
I mean, obviously, Matt Ryan has been to a Super Bowl, which Matt Stafford never got to in Detroit. Never had a playoff win in Detroit.
No. If Matt Ryan... So who's there to trade for Matt Ryan to push him to the Super Bowl? Because when the Rams got Stafford... I was saying Stafford MVP of the league.
Yeah, you were. I mean, you were on that.
I had Rams. I was like Rams Super Bowl, 100%. I thought they were going to lose to the Chiefs, but I had Rams going to the Super Bowl because I was like, bro, Matt Stafford is nice, and he's been in Detroit, which is a wasteland of the NFL franchises. So, is there anybody that says we're Matt Ryan? We're a pretty good quarterback away because at this point, Matt Stafford is pretty good.
I mean, honestly,
we're a pretty good quarterback away from a Super Bowl win.
I could see Indianapolis.
Me too.
Trying to make a move.
Their running game is nice.
Their
defense is nice.
The more that this is picking up steam. Also, I really think that Denver is a better team on paper than they showed last year.
I agree. I had them in the wild card.
You did. I mean, I think they have a pretty good receiving core. I think their defense is good enough.
Yeah.
Just obviously had the wrong guy at quarterback last year.
Yep.
So I could see them making a move. The only thing that I say about Denver with making a quarterback move is, I mean, you're still probably the third best quarterback in the division, depending on who you are. Unless
you get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously, I mean, Mahomes is number one in that division. I feel like Herbert is pretty solidly number two.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, unless Aaron Rodgers, that changes things. But, like, a Matt Ryan, I don't feel like is better than a Mahomes or a Herbert.
But Matt Ryan to Indy.
But Indy, yeah.
In the South. AFC South.
Yeah.
They could do that.
I could even – and I know Tennessee has came out and said that Tannehill's their guy. But, I mean, I could see them making a move. And being like, if we can improve that position –
If Aaron Rodgers goes to Tennessee, now I'm not saying it's going to happen or whatever, that's an upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, you imagine having him and Derrick Henry in the backfield?
If you somehow have the cap space to bring over, because Adams is a free agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you figure that out, and because they love playing with each other, like they're like that's well documented that Adams and Rodgers have.
You
love
imagine like
Adams goes there, AJ Brown, Julio restructures, signs cheap, Derrick Henry, pretty good O line, or actually good O line.
I mean, you imagine an Aaron Rodgers and Derrick Henry in the same backfield on 3rd and short, 4th and short. Like, okay, you line up how you're going to line up defensively, right?
You just say,
you've got 8 in the box. We're going to stop the run. Okay, Aaron Rodgers is going to find the open guy. Versus you have 5 guys in the box and, other people playing pass. Aaron Rodgers is like, okay, I'll just give it to Derrick Henry.
Think about how
he'll get a yard.
And also think about this, how easy Vrabel's job on offense was. I mean, like he wouldn't have offense. Hey Rodgers, we're gonna. They could go the Peyton Manning route and go. There's 3 plays.
Yeah, here's 3 plays. You pick what you think.
Hey, you want to run a hurry up? Just that's all right. Yeah. Hey, call your stuff, dude. We don't care. You can give Aaron Rodgers. You can give him the Tom Brady treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is you. You need to take a day off. Okay, you're good. Green Bay really. I mean, I'm not saying Green Bay like mistreated him horribly,
and it's hard for Green Bay to attract free agents because the weather.
Yeah, weather sucks. But you go to Tennessee, hey, we know Nashville. Hey, that's a cool spot.
Yeah, Nashville's cool.
I think Rodgers has a home there, right?
Yeah. Well,
allegedly,
allegedly he's building one somewhere around there. I don't know.
Okay, so then Tannehill, and actually, you know what? If you're Green Bay and you don't think Jordan Love's ready, and Tennessee packages a Tannehill pick for Rodgers, you say, and Rodgers is not happy with your organization. You just go, hey, all right. And you still could win that division with Tannehill.
Yeah.
So Green Bay, if I was Green Bay, I'd go, hey, Aaron, if that's what you want, let's go.
I mean, so if you're Green Bay, let's say, because I still think he's going to Denver. If you're Green Bay, would you take a Drew Lock?
No. Because
you wouldn't as part of a package?
That's Jordan Love.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Jordan Love just with more experience?
I got to see Jordan Love. I mean, Jordan Love actually did a pretty decent job.
I mean, Drew Lock has more starts.
Yeah, I think it's like the same tier.
Think it's the same tier. Okay.
Yeah. I
mean, fair enough. I'm asking.
I think Drew Lock at this point, I'm not thinking starter. I'm thinking, hey, solid backup.
Yeah. Chase Daniel.
And Bridgewater, solid backup.
So you're thinking of Drew Lock come in if you need your starters banged up a little bit mid-season. You need him to start 2 or 3 games.
He can win a game. He can win some games for you.
He might win it, but he's not going to lose it, right? Is that what you think? Is that
that's what he did. I mean, that's what he did against KC with his legs, and he played good. He's just not. He's not. You ain't going to win a Super Bowl with Drew Lock. That's okay. And at this point, with the way the Rams are setting this blueprint, where it's like,
fair enough.
You need to go get your elite quarterback.
Fair enough. All right. You got anything else tonight? Because I got one more thing I do want to talk about.
All right. Bring it up.
Okay. So, I don't know if you saw the news today, but Coach Greg Jones, who's been on our show a couple times, Liberty North head coach, just won a state title.
Yes.
He is leaving Liberty North, took an assistant coaching job up at the University of Oregon.
Pretty sweet.
With Lanning. Which Lanning is from a small school in northern Missouri. So him and Jones have had a relationship quite some time. So I want to say congratulations, Coach Jones. Just saw him a couple weeks ago at the clinic. I actually went to a couple sessions he was speaking at. Got to talk to him a little bit, but congratulations to Coach Jones. Thank you for what you did for Kansas City High School football, being at Kearney and then Liberty North.
Freaking great coach.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He's very enthusiastic. Obviously, won a lot at Kearney. Liberty North was in it every year, just won a state title this year. So definitely want to say congratulations to him. Just give him a little shout out here as we close. And maybe, I don't know when he leaves or any of the details, but maybe we can get him on the show one more time before he officially is an Oregon Duck.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Oregon Ducks, let's go.
Yeah. So a little KC connection there now to Oregon Ducks. So,
cool.
Probably rooting for them a little bit.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. But, all right, well, I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
This has been Midwest Mikes. We'll see you guys next week.